In 1956, Tommy Fitz sits on a bar stool in New York City, listening to the bitching of working stiffs and hypocrites about endless shifts and petty politics. The candle wicks burn low. It's 2 a.m. and Tommy Fitz seeks a deeper fix, a little more spice in the mix, and his quick wits figure just how to do it. So in a moment of whiskey-kissed hubris, he bets that he can shift from his home out in New Jersey back to the bar where they all sit in less than 15 minutes. "You're full of it," his buddy Chris hissed, but Tommy Fitz spits, commits to this, raises a beer and tanks it, and soon the boys are emptying their pockets and betting their biscuits. An hour later and 10 miles west, Tommy Fitz sits in the cockpit of a stolen Cessna, gets his mitts on the flight stick, flicks a switch, the gear shifts, the tail kicks, the plane lifts, and our man is in business. He flies on pure instinct with no radio clicks, no radar blips, and no lights lit, and all the while the stopwatch tick, tick, ticks. New Jersey sleeps far below, and Tommy soars like a secret. His worried mind slows down, and for the first time in a long time, he is at ease as the moments gently pass him by. Then over the Hudson he flits, and the trouble starts to hit, for Tommy's target was a high school field he presumed floodlit and an easy place to ditch. But the luck was a bitch, for the lights were dark and the field was black as pitch. And so Tommy Fitz, pissed to the tits, starts to improvise a bit. After all, a street and a runway, pretty much the same if you think of it. He yaws it and he pitches it, and although the Cessna barely fits between the 6-story blocks, he brings it safely down onto St. Nick's Avenue, right outside the bar which started this. He climbs from the cockpit, bows from the hips, and waves to his waiting plaudits. Of course, these grifts attract a little notice, and Tommy Fitz was summoned to court. The judge, to his credit, actually quite liked it. "A fine piece of aeronautics," he grudgingly admits, although it kind of takes the piss. And so Tommy Fitz received a minimum penance, surrendering his pilot's license and handing over the kitty with smiling compliance. For a time, Tommy Fitz dines out on skits of his bravado and wits, and though the benefits never quite reach the Ritz, they earn him a spritz or two from those he bewitched. But what really grinds his bits is the doubters, the skeptics, the clever dicks who claim he bullshits about these outrageous antics. And after 2 years of this, as another doubt slips past the lips of a skeptical drinking buddy, Tommy Fitz flips. You may think him an egotist or perhaps a masochist, but in a surprising plot twist, he agrees to repeat the trick. So once more, Tommy Fitz exits the bar late at night, cheats the locksmiths, slips into the cockpit of another stolen Cessna, and he zigs and zags and zips towards Manhattan's districts. But tonight, something is amiss, and his mind drifts back to the Pacific conflict, to his newborn kids, to the risks of all this. And he pictures hungry bailiffs seizing his wedding gifts and throwing him into the nick. But it's too late to call it quits. Spooked and skittish now, sweat covers his brow, and though he brings it safely down onto Amsterdam uptown, his mind is on the fritz. Feeling no heroics, Tommy Fitz splits. Well, the police combed for fingerprints, asked the locals for hints, and came up with a profile that only Tommy Fitz fits. They wake him late that morning, give him a frisk, and go through the list of his criminal antics just as the hangover hits. Mrs. Fitzpatrick was in hysterics. Apoplectic, she threw a dozen shit fits, cursing his drinking habits for risking marital bliss over a couple of credit chits. And this time the judge would not brook this recklessness, demanded justice for his public menace, and sentenced Tommy Fitz to 6 months of jailhouse grits for his high-flying hijinks. Our hero cursed the lousy drink as he was thrown into the clink. Thomas Fitzpatrick died peacefully in 2009, with only this urban legend to show for his crime. A cocktail served in a New York bar War III remains his outstanding legacy. This was a story from another time, and a story with a lot of rhyme, but we can learn from this late night flight if only we interpret it right. So, don't get drunk and steal a plane. Don't get proud and then try it again. Don't fly above the city without radio or light, and don't stay out drinking all through the night. But this world is dark and cold and unsightly, and we need people who burn a little more brightly. People who risk and people who fall, people who inspire a little more from us all. And we need authorities to show a little kindness, because sometimes the demons that drive us need to be released and managed before they can do any real damage. And who else but legends will bend these rules and keep the rest of us from becoming fools? So I say cheers to you, Tommy Fitz, and thank you for teaching us all of this.